The tension was palpable from the very first moment, and fans could hardly believe their eyes. Whispers and rumors had been circulating for weeks, but no one expected it to erupt in such a dramatic fashion. During what was meant to be a routine group gathering, emotions ran dangerously high, and what started as a heated argument between Sierra and Yandy quickly escalated into something explosive. Cast members froze as the confrontation intensified, and in a shocking moment, Sierra allegedly grabbed Yandy by her wig, dragging her across the room. The chaos left everyone around stunned, unsure whether to intervene or let the tension play out. The incident, captured on tape, spread like wildfire online, igniting debates and speculation among fans. Many were questioning what could have led to such a dramatic clash, wondering whether there had been long-standing grudges, or if this was simply the culmination of weeks of mounting pressure behind closed doors. The footage revealed not just a fight, but the unraveling of friendships, alliances, and hidden tensions that had been simmering beneath the surface. The family was left divided, loyalties questioned, and emotions ran high as everyone tried to make sense of what they had just witnessed. Fans are shocked, discussions erupted across social media, and the scene has left an indelible mark on the cast's dynamics. The tension had been simmering for weeks, ever since subtle remarks and sidelong glances hinted at growing friction between Sierra and Yandy. At first, no one could pinpoint exactly what the problem was, but whispers in the cast rooms suggested that resentment had been building quietly behind the cameras. Some cast members noticed Sierra becoming more outspoken during filming, often questioning Yandy's motives and decisions in ways that seemed harmless at first, but gradually edged toward confrontation. Yandy, on the other hand, had been visibly irritable, snapping at the smallest things, leaving others around them on edge. Fans speculated that this tension had roots in past disagreements and a perceived imbalance in attention from the production team. What no one expected, however, was that this simmering tension would erupt so publicly, with cameras capturing every shocking detail. It all began during what was supposed to be a casual meet-and-greet scene for a group activity. The atmosphere felt normal at first, with cast members chatting casually and laughter occasionally filling the room. Sierra and Yandy exchanged a few comments, and though they appeared civil, an undercurrent of tension was unmistakable. As the discussion continued, Sierra made a pointed remark about Yandy's recent behavior, referencing decisions that many in the cast had quietly criticized. Yandy's reaction was immediate. Her posture stiffened, eyes narrowing as her voice rose in defensive anger. "You think you know everything, don't you?" she snapped, her tone laced with frustration and disbelief. Sierra leaned in slightly, her own voice rising in intensity as she countered, "I know more than you think, and it's about time someone said it out loud." The energy in the room shifted dramatically as the cast watched in disbelief. Whispers of "oh no" and nervous chuckles circulated, but nobody was prepared for what came next. Sierra, perhaps emboldened by the sudden attention and the adrenaline of confrontation, moved closer to Yandy. In a move that shocked everyone, she grabbed Yandy by her wig, yanking it in a way that caused the other woman to stumble and react instinctively. The camera captured the moment perfectly, showing Yandy's eyes widening in shock and disbelief. The room erupted into chaos as cast members tried to intervene, shouting for both women to calm down. Some attempted to pull Sierra back, while others rushed to steady Yandy, who was shaken but determined not to fall further. Friends and cast members later recounted their confusion and fear during the incident. One insider said, "It was like watching a storm hit. Nobody could stop it, and everyone was frozen, unsure whether to step in or let it play out." The physical nature of the confrontation, combined with the emotional intensity, made it impossible for anyone to ignore. Social media immediately caught wind of the incident, with clips of the altercation being shared widely. Fans were divided, some condemning Sierra's actions as excessive and uncalled for, while others sympathized with her frustration, claiming that Yandy had provoked her over time. The debate quickly intensified, with hashtags and comment threads speculating about the backstory, the motivations, and the long-term impact on the cast's dynamics. Amid the chaos, both women struggled to maintain their composure. Yandy, though, initially stunned by the physical contact, quickly regained her voice, insisting that her boundaries be respected. She exclaimed to anyone who would listen, "You can't treat me like this. I've been nothing but respectful, and this is not how people should be handled." Sierra, on the other hand, remained defiant, her eyes blazing with anger and determination. "I've been holding back for too long," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "Everyone knows what's been going on behind the scenes, and I'm not staying silent anymore." The cast was left in an uncomfortable limbo, caught between two powerful personalities unwilling to back down. Production staff scrambled to intervene, attempting to separate the women while keeping the cameras rolling. The crew knew that the footage would be explosive, but they were also concerned about safety and liability. Producers whispered among themselves, debating whether the scene should be cut or allowed to continue, aware that reality TV thrives on high-stakes drama but never wants to cross the line into genuine harm. The balance between entertainment and safety was delicate, and in those tense moments, emotions ran high for everyone in the room. After the initial confrontation, both Sierra and Yandy were taken to separate rooms to cool down. Even in isolation, they continued to vent to friends and allies about the altercation. Yandy confided to a close friend, "I can't believe she did that. I've tried to keep things civil, but it's like she wants to humiliate me in front of everyone." Her voice quivered, revealing the mix of anger and hurt that had been building over time. Sierra, meanwhile, spoke to her supporters with a fierce sense of vindication. "People keep saying I'm overreacting, but they don't know the truth. This isn't just about a wig, it's about respect, honesty, and accountability. If she keeps testing me, this won't be the last time." The incident set off a wave of speculation about the underlying causes of the feud. Some suggested that long-standing rivalries and personal grudges had finally reached a breaking point. Others hinted at behind-the-scenes conflicts over attention, favoritism, and unspoken alliances within the cast. Fans combed through past episodes, interviews, and social media posts, searching for signs of tension that could explain the dramatic escalation. Every glance, comment, and interaction between Sierra and Yandy was scrutinized as potential evidence of deeper conflict. As the days passed, the situation grew even more intense. Cast members began taking sides, some openly supporting Sierra's boldness, while others rallied behind Yandy's sense of dignity and composure. The divide within the cast became increasingly apparent, creating tension not just between the two women but across the entire group. Casual conversations were replaced with whispered debates, suspicious glances, and a constant sense of unease. The tension was no longer contained to the set. It spilled over into social media, interviews, and public appearances, amplifying the drama and feeding the narrative of an all-consuming rivalry. Producers, recognizing the potential for heightened viewer engagement, carefully decided how to manage the story. While safety protocols were reinforced and measures taken to prevent further physical conflict, the emotional fallout was encouraged to remain visible. The unfolding drama provided a potent mix of raw emotion, personal stakes, and unpredictable reactions, elements that reality television thrives upon. Fans, now invested in the story, continued to share their opinions, speculate on motives, and debate who was in the right. Both women, aware that the public eye was firmly on them, escalated the drama further through strategic social media interactions. Sierra posted a cryptic message hinting at more revelations to come, while Yandy addressed her supporters, asserting her innocence and commitment to maintaining personal dignity. Each message added layers of intrigue and tension, keeping fans engaged and anxious for the next development. The incident had grown beyond a simple conflict between two individuals. It had become a study in human emotion, rivalry, and the fragility of relationships under the spotlight of fame. The room that had once been filled with casual conversation now bore the weight of unspoken accusations, lingering anger, and the aftermath of a very public clash. Cast members who tried to mediate found themselves caught in the crossfire, navigating the delicate balance between friendship, loyalty, and the desire to remain uninvolved. The ripple effects of the altercation touched everyone on set, creating an environment charged with suspicion, anticipation, and unresolved tension. Fans continued to dissect every moment of the footage, debating the significance of Sierra's actions, Yandy's reactions, and the larger implications for the dynamics of the cast. Online forums buzzed with speculation, theories, and predictions about future confrontations, alliances, and reconciliations. Hashtags proliferated, drawing attention to the incident and amplifying its impact beyond the immediate circle of cast and crew. The story had become a phenomenon, demonstrating the power of raw emotion and the allure of reality TV drama. The aftermath revealed that both women were grappling not just with the public reaction, but also with personal reflections. Yandy questioned her ability to maintain composure under pressure, while Sierra evaluated the consequences of her bold actions. Each considered how this incident would shape their reputations, influence fan perception, and affect future interactions within the cast. The psychological and emotional impact extended far beyond the moment captured on tape, leaving lasting impressions on everyone involved. The incident ultimately underscored the unpredictable nature of reality television, where personal conflicts, emotional vulnerabilities, and public scrutiny intersect in dramatic ways. The raw, unfiltered reactions of Sierra and Yandy provided viewers with a glimpse into the intensity of human emotion, the fragility of friendships, and the consequences of unchecked tension. Fans were riveted, cast members were unsettled, and producers were reminded of both the allure and the danger of allowing personal conflicts to unfold in front of cameras. The clash between Sierra and Yandy had become more than an isolated event. It had evolved into a complex narrative of rivalry, emotion, and public scrutiny. As the footage circulated and fans debated endlessly, the story demonstrated how a single moment of confrontation could ripple outward, affecting relationships, reputations, and the collective consciousness of a dedicated audience. Every glance, gesture, and comment from that day would be revisited and reinterpreted in the days to come, making the incident a defining moment in the season's unfolding drama. The emotional intensity, the high stakes, and the very public nature of the altercation ensured that the clash would be remembered for a long time. Cast members were forced to navigate the aftermath carefully, considering alliances, personal boundaries, and the ever-present eye of the audience. Fans speculated endlessly, some taking sides passionately, while others analyzed motives and psychological dynamics. The narrative had grown exponentially, fueled by both on-set developments and the viral nature of social media. In the quiet moments after the confrontation, both Sierra and Yandy reflected on the choices that led to this explosive encounter. The incident became a lens through which the cast, fans, and production could examine themes of respect, loyalty, provocation, and accountability. The morning after the explosive incident, the atmosphere on set was tense and almost unbearable. Cast members arrived with cautious glances, aware that the previous day's confrontation had shifted the dynamics permanently. Whispers circulated about what might happen next, and the energy was heavy with anticipation. Producers worked frantically behind the scenes, coordinating schedules, separating the women when possible, and preparing for inevitable confrontations. Every interaction was carefully monitored, and even casual conversations were laden with the potential to ignite further conflict. Yandy spent the morning with close allies, venting her frustration and disbelief. She confided in a friend, "I've never been treated like that before. I try to be calm, I try to be respectful, and this is what I get. It's humiliating." Her friend attempted to comfort her, reminding her that the cameras were always watching and that public perception could be managed carefully. Yet, despite the reassurance, Yandy's mind was occupied with what had occurred and how it might shape her relationships moving forward. She knew that trust within the cast had been shaken, and alliances were now more crucial than ever. Sierra, meanwhile, was preparing for her next appearance with a sense of determination. She spoke to her confidants, explaining that the confrontation was not just an impulsive act, but a response to months of accumulated frustration. "People don't understand," she said. "This isn't just about a wig or a silly fight. This is about standing up for what's right, about exposing the truth that's been ignored for too long." Her words hinted at deeper layers of tension, suggesting that the feud between her and Yandy was entwined with other unresolved conflicts within the cast. As filming resumed, the two women were kept in separate spaces whenever possible. Yet the tension was palpable whenever they were in proximity. The crew noticed subtle gestures, eyes darting, whispered comments, stiff postures, that betrayed the lingering animosity. The cast found themselves navigating a minefield of allegiances, unsure of when minor disagreements might escalate into full-blown confrontations. The energy was electric, with every glance and comment holding potential significance. Social media continued to play a major role in the unfolding drama. Clips of the altercations circulated widely, gaining thousands of views within hours. Fans debated intensely, some criticizing Sierra for crossing boundaries, others praising her for standing up to perceived slights. Hashtags proliferated, trending worldwide, and fans dissected every moment, every word, and every gesture for hidden meaning. The digital arena became a battleground mirroring the tensions on set, amplifying the stakes for both women and their allies. Back on set, producers carefully orchestrated group scenes, mindful of the volatile energy. Even during neutral activities, such as casual meals or planned discussions, the undercurrent of tension was impossible to ignore. Cast members tread lightly, aware that any small misstep could escalate the situation. While some attempted to act as mediators, their efforts were complicated by the fact that both Sierra and Yandy were equally committed to asserting their positions, unwilling to yield or apologize. During a particularly tense group meeting, the conversation inevitably veered toward the incident. A cast member hesitantly remarked, "I think we all saw how intense things got yesterday. Maybe it's time to talk it out." Yandy's eyes narrowed, and Sierra's lips pressed tightly together, signaling that a simple conversation would not suffice. The room fell silent, the weight of unresolved conflict hanging over everyone. The meeting ended without resolution, leaving the cast with a mixture of fear, anticipation, and curiosity about what might happen next. In private moments, both women reflected on the incident with a mix of anger, pride, and anxiety. Yandy worried about the long-term impact on her reputation and personal relationships, while Sierra contemplated the consequences of her actions and how they might influence her standing within the cast. Both were acutely aware of the cameras, the audience, and the ongoing social media scrutiny, heightening the pressure on every decision and interaction. Rumors began to swirl about the motivations behind Sierra's actions. Some insiders speculated that she was frustrated with perceived favoritism or overlooked contributions, while others suggested personal grievances had reached a breaking point. Yandy's supporters argued that Sierra had overstepped, creating unnecessary drama and risking professional and personal relationships. These competing narratives fueled further speculation and kept fans engaged, constantly analyzing every piece of information for clues. As filming continued over the next few days, the two women found themselves forced into proximity during collaborative scenes. The tension was nearly tangible, with subtle exchanges of glances, muted body language, and controlled but charged dialogue. Every interaction was scrutinized by both cast members and crew, each aware that the cameras could capture even the slightest sign of animosity. The result was a high-wire performance, with both women balancing the need to appear composed with the emotional reality simmering beneath the surface. The crew observed that even small disagreements among other cast members were interpreted through the lens of the Sierra-Yandy feud. Casual comments, side conversations, and moments of laughter were analyzed for hidden meanings or allegiances. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of anticipation that something else might erupt at any moment. The tension extended beyond the two women themselves, affecting the entire group dynamic and altering how interactions were managed both on and off camera. Meanwhile, social media continued to amplify the story. Clips, GIFs, and commentaries spread quickly, with fans dissecting body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions for signs of guilt, remorse, or vindication. Speculation about underlying conflicts, past grievances, and future confrontations kept discussions active around the clock. Both women were aware of the digital frenzy, understanding that public perception could influence casting decisions, storylines, and even career trajectories. Amid this backdrop, minor incidents began to be interpreted as part of the ongoing feud. A cast member accidentally bumping into Yandy was labeled as intentional provocation by fans. Sierra's laughter during a scene was dissected as mockery. The environment became a pressure cooker, with tension building through both direct confrontations and perceived slights. The social media response created a feedback loop, influencing behavior on set and shaping the narrative in ways that extended beyond the immediate conflict. Producers worked to manage these dynamics carefully, scheduling separate interviews, planning breaks, and monitoring interactions became standard practice. Crew members were briefed to anticipate heightened emotional reactions and contingency. Plans were developed for potential flare-ups. Despite these precautions, both women continued to assert themselves, unwilling to back down or apologize, maintaining the dramatic tension that had captivated audiences. The clash had also begun to impact alliances within the cast. Friends of Yandy and Sierra found themselves pressured to take sides, whether publicly or privately. Casual conversations became strategic, with allies providing support, deflecting questions, or subtly influencing group opinion. The once cohesive cast now operated under a tense, competitive energy, aware that any misstep could be magnified, in both production and public perception. Tensions reached new heights during a planned dinner scene when a minor disagreement escalated into heated debate. Sierra leaned forward, her voice sharp, saying, "You think you can manipulate everyone and get away with it?" Yandy fired back, "I've done nothing but try to keep the peace, and you're making this about control." The conversation escalated, drawing the attention of every cast member present. Whispers and anxious glances filled the room as the argument grew louder, though physical confrontation was avoided that time. Afterwards, both women retreated to separate areas, reflecting on the intensity of the encounter. Sierra confided that she felt validated in standing up to Yandy, while Yandy expressed frustration over the public perception and the personal embarrassment she had endured. The situation highlighted the complexities of reality TV, where personal grievances, professional stakes, and audience perception intersect in dramatic, often unpredictable ways. Over the next several days, the story continued to unfold, with each scene, conversation, and glance adding layers of intrigue. The feud became a central narrative thread, engaging viewers, dividing fan bases, and shaping the production's approach to the season. Both women navigated the challenges of maintaining composure, asserting personal boundaries, and responding to ongoing scrutiny, while the cast and crew adapted to the heightened tension that now defined the environment. The incident between Sierra and Yandy became a defining moment of the season, demonstrating the volatility of personal relationships under the microscope of reality television. It showcased the power of emotion, the consequences of unchecked tension, and the impact of public scrutiny, leaving a lasting impression on cast, crew, and viewers alike. The situation remained unresolved, tension simmered, and the audience remained captivated, eagerly anticipating the next development in this high-stakes drama. As the days progressed, the tension on set showed no signs of abating. The feud between Sierra and Yandy had evolved into an all-encompassing narrative that seemed to dominate every interaction. Cast members moved cautiously, careful not to inadvertently trigger another confrontation. Even routine activities like rehearsals or lunch breaks became opportunities for subtle power plays and heightened scrutiny. Whispers circulated about who was siding with whom, and the divide among the cast became increasingly pronounced. Yandy, still shaken by the public humiliation, confided in a close friend, "I can't believe how fast this blew up," she said, her voice tinged with both disbelief and frustration. "It's like every word I say is being analyzed, and nothing I do feels right anymore." She admitted that the altercation had shaken her confidence, and she was struggling to navigate both the emotional fallout and the relentless attention from fans and media. Her friend reassured her, emphasizing that reality TV thrives on these dramatic moments and that she needed to protect herself while maintaining composure. Sierra, meanwhile, embraced the chaos, using the media attention to her advantage. She spoke to her supporters on social media, hinting at untold stories and hidden grievances. "People think this was just a one-time thing," she posted. "There's so much more behind the scenes that no one sees." The statement sparked a frenzy of speculation, with fans dissecting every previous interaction for signs of deception, betrayal, or long-standing tension. Sierra's calculated approach kept the spotlight firmly on her, further intensifying the divide between supporters of both women. Production staff worked tirelessly to manage the situation. They scheduled separate interviews, implemented strict guidelines for interactions, and attempted to mediate minor disagreements before they escalated. Despite these measures, the underlying tension remained, and the presence of cameras only magnified every subtle gesture or expression. Even minor disagreements between cast members were interpreted as evidence of alignment with one side or the other, creating a high-pressure environment where every action was loaded with potential consequences. The feud began to ripple beyond the set. Social media exploded with commentary, fan theories, and heated debates. Hashtags like Soccer Team Sierra and Dog Team Yandy trended consistently, and online forums buzzed with speculation about the motivations, backstory, and potential consequences of the altercation. Viewers dissected video clips repeatedly, analyzing body, language, tone of voice, and facial expressions for hidden meaning. The public fascination amplified the stakes, making each interaction feel even more consequential for both women. During a planned group scene, tensions reached a new peak. Yandy and Sierra were in the same room, seated across from each other. The conversation initially appeared mundane, but subtle remarks and pointed glances quickly escalated the atmosphere. "You always think you can control everything," Sierra said quietly but sharply, her eyes fixed on Yandy. Yandy responded, "I've done nothing but try to keep things calm, and you're making it personal." The exchange, though restrained, was filled with the weight of months of unspoken grievances. The cast observed quietly, aware that even a small slip could reignite the fire. Friends of both women tried to mediate, offering gentle suggestions or deflecting potential confrontations. But the tension was palpable. Every minor movement, whisper, or facial expression was scrutinized, and even those who had no direct involvement felt the pressure of navigating a divided environment. The sense of anticipation was almost tangible, as though the next spark could trigger another explosive moment at any time. As filming continued, the story grew more intricate. Rumors circulated about the origins of the conflict, with insiders suggesting personal slights, professional jealousy, and long-standing resentments had all contributed to the escalating tension. Fans speculated about private conversations, alleged alliances, and hidden agendas, adding layers of complexity to the narrative. Every scene, social media post, and behind-the-scenes moment became a potential piece of the puzzle, heightening the suspense and engagement of viewers. The psychological toll on both women became evident. Yandy struggled to reconcile her public image with the private humiliation she had endured, questioning how her actions and words were being perceived. Sierra, conversely, embraced the drama as an opportunity to assert herself, using every interaction to reinforce her position and amplify her narrative. Both navigated the delicate balance of emotional authenticity, public perception, and strategic maneuvering, aware that missteps could have long-lasting consequences. Meanwhile, the ripple effects extended to their allies. Friendships were tested, loyalties questioned, and minor disagreements reinterpreted through the lens of the feud. Cast members who had previously been neutral found themselves under pressure to take a stand, while those aligned with either Sierra or Yandy worked to protect their positions. The environment became one of constant vigilance, where every conversation and gesture carried weight, and the potential for escalation loomed continuously. The producers, recognizing the dramatic potential, carefully orchestrated scenes to heighten tension while attempting to maintain safety. Separate interview sessions allowed each woman to express her perspective, revealing motivations, fears, and frustrations that had been hidden from public view. These moments provided deeper insight into the conflict, highlighting the complex, emotional stakes and the intricate web of relationships that had fueled the confrontation. Meanwhile, the social media frenzy continued unabated. Clips of the altercation were shared repeatedly, accompanied by commentary, memes, and fan reactions. The story dominated online discourse, with supporters and critics passionately defending their perspectives. The intensity of the digital conversation reinforced the significance of the feud, ensuring that both women remained at the center of public attention and that the narrative continued to unfold with maximum drama. In addition to public scrutiny, the incident sparked private discussions about personal boundaries and accountability. Cast members debated the ethics of physical confrontation versus verbal disputes, weighing the entertainment value against potential emotional harm. Producers navigated these concerns carefully, balancing the need for compelling content with the responsibility to ensure safety and respect on set. As the season progressed, each subsequent interaction between Sierra and Yandy carried the weight of previous conflicts. Casual exchanges were imbued with tension, and even cooperative tasks became exercises in managing underlying hostility. The feud evolved into a defining narrative arc, shaping the dynamics of the cast and influencing the tone of the show. The energy was consistently charged, with anticipation for the next confrontation, keeping both the cast and viewers engaged. The personal stakes were never far from view. Yandy worried about her reputation, relationships, and the perception of fans and colleagues, while Sierra strategically navigated opportunities to assert control, challenge narratives, and leverage the drama for her own positioning. Both women faced the ongoing challenge of maintaining composure while managing the emotional intensity of the feud, aware that their actions were constantly observed, analyzed, and interpreted. Rumors about potential alliances, hidden motives, and undisclosed grievances intensified the drama. Cast members speculated on past incidents, conversations, and behaviors, attempting to decipher the true nature of the conflict. Each revelation, whether minor or significant, contributed to the evolving narrative, keeping the storyline fresh and engaging for audiences. As filming continued, subtle moments revealed the depth of the tension. A raised eyebrow, a fleeting glance, or a carefully chosen word could reignite the conflict. Both women adapted, learning to navigate the pressure while maintaining their public personas. The interplay of emotion, strategy, and performance underscored the complexity of reality television, where personal and professional stakes intertwine in unpredictable ways. In private, Yandy and Sierra each reflected on the unfolding events. Yandy focused on rebuilding her confidence and maintaining control over her narrative, while Sierra strategized on how to maximize the impact of her actions. Both were acutely aware of the broader implications, from personal relationships to career trajectories, and the need to balance authenticity with strategic considerations. The feud, now central to the season, had transformed into a lens through which all interactions were interpreted. The tension influenced every aspect of production, from scene planning to cast dynamics. social media engagement, and audience perception. The incident became a case study in the emotional, social, and professional complexities inherent in high-stakes reality television. Each episode, interview, and social media post added layers of context and intrigue, creating a continuously evolving narrative that captivated viewers. The emotional intensity, combined with strategic maneuvering and public engagement, ensured that the story remained compelling, relevant, and unpredictable, reinforcing the high-stakes environment that defines reality television drama. The lingering question remained: how would the ongoing tension between Sierra and Yandy resolve? Would reconciliation be possible, or had the conflict fundamentally altered the dynamics of the cast? The uncertainty fueled engagement as viewers remained riveted by the drama, eager to see the next twist, reaction, or confrontation. The feud had become more than an isolated incident. It had evolved into a defining storyline that would shape the season and leave a lasting impact on everyone involved. The aftermath of the explosive clash continued to ripple through the cast, production, and fan base. The incident between Sierra and Yandy had left everyone on edge, with even minor interactions now loaded with tension. Cast members who had previously been indifferent found themselves scrutinizing each other's body language, interpreting casual remarks as subtle alignments, and carefully choosing words to avoid becoming entangled in the conflict. Yandy, still processing the humiliation, retreated to her closest allies for support. She shared her feelings of betrayal and frustration, saying quietly, "It feels like my whole world just flipped upside down. Every time I turn around, it's like the chaos follows me." Her friends encouraged her to maintain composure, reminding her that reality television thrives on heightened drama and public perception. Despite their reassurances, Yandy struggled to reconcile her private feelings with the very public nature of the incident, and the constant attention made it difficult to feel grounded. Sierra, on the other hand, capitalized on the media attention. She gave interviews and social media updates that hinted at hidden grievances and long-standing conflicts, creating a sense of intrigue that kept fans engaged. "People think this started overnight," she said in one post. "There's a history here, a lot people don't know about, and I've been holding back for too long." Her calculated strategy amplified the tension and encouraged speculation, keeping the narrative alive and compelling for audiences. As filming resumed, the production team faced an unprecedented challenge. They needed to manage the volatile dynamics without allowing safety or professionalism to be compromised. Separate interview sessions allowed each woman to speak freely, revealing emotional stakes, personal grievances, and behind-the-scenes frustrations. These candid moments helped the audience understand the intensity of the conflict, while also heightening anticipation for any future interactions. Meanwhile, social media erupted with reactions and theories. Fans analyzed every clip, post, and comment for hidden meaning, and hashtags like Yeesh Team Sierra and Yeesh Team Yandy trended repeatedly. The online conversation added fuel to the fire as viewers speculated about alliances, motivations, and the potential fallout of the altercation. Every post seemed to carry the weight of interpretation, further intensifying the drama and keeping the story at the forefront of public attention. Back on set, subtle gestures and comments became significant indicators of loyalty or tension. Cast members who remained neutral struggled to navigate the environment, and even routine interactions were approached with caution. The presence of cameras heightened the stakes, magnifying every expression and word. The atmosphere was charged, and anticipation of another confrontation remained high, as everyone understood how quickly tempers could flare. In private moments, both women reflected on their positions. Yandy focused on maintaining dignity and protecting her reputation, while Sierra strategized on how to leverage the drama to assert control and enhance her narrative. Each action, no matter how minor, was carefully calculated, as both women were aware that missteps could have lasting consequences for personal relationships, public perception, and career opportunities. The ripple effects of the incident extended beyond the central feud. Cast members speculated about past incidents, interpreted interactions through the lens of the conflict, and questioned loyalties. Friendships were tested, alliances shifted, and minor disagreements were scrutinized as potential evidence of support for one side or the other. The overall dynamic of the cast had changed, and every interaction carried the weight of previous confrontations. Production continued to capture the unfolding story, carefully orchestrating scenes to heighten tension, while attempting to maintain a safe environment. Interviews, social media monitoring, and strategic scene planning allowed producers to balance the need for compelling content with the responsibility to protect cast members. The narrative continued to evolve, with each new scene adding depth, context, and intrigue to the ongoing feud. The personal stakes remained high for both women. Yandy worried about her public image, the opinions of her peers, and the potential impact on her personal life. Sierra focused on amplifying her position, revealing perceived injustices, and strategically engaging with media attention. The emotional and professional stakes were intertwined, creating a complex environment in which every decision, gesture, and statement carried significant weight. Rumors and speculation intensified the tension. Fans debated motivations, historical conflicts, and potential consequences, while cast members attempted to navigate the fallout. Conversations in private moments and behind-the-scenes interactions were laden with subtext, as everyone tried to anticipate reactions and outcomes. The narrative expanded beyond the initial confrontation, becoming a central storyline that shaped the season and influenced relationships, decisions, and public engagement. Small interactions took on heightened significance. A glance, a tone of voice, or a subtle gesture could reignite old tensions. Both women adapted to this reality, learning to navigate the heightened scrutiny while maintaining personal composure and strategic positioning. The interplay of emotion, perception, and calculation underscored the complexity of high-stakes reality. Television, where personal and professional interests are deeply intertwined. Yandy and Sierra also faced challenges in managing their personal support networks. Friends and family members were drawn into the drama, providing emotional support, advice, and occasionally mediation. The intensity of the feud tested relationships, as allies were forced to navigate loyalty, discretion, and the pressure of public scrutiny. Every conversation carried potential repercussions, and even private moments were shadowed by the anticipation of exposure or misinterpretation.